practice to ground and root you. It's a practice that helps you eliminate unwanted feelings, helps you to come back into your feet if you've gotten too expansive in your head, if you've started to do the dance, the spin in your head. The primary focus of this practice is moving the energy inside of you down into your feet. So we'll be doing a lot of movement. First we'll be standing for a while and just breathing into the relationship of energy inside of us and starting to focus it down into our feet. And then as we begin our movement, you'll start to feel the feet become heavier and more supportive to your practice. So this is a great practice to use when life seems overwhelming or when you're having a hard time staying in the moment. It's also a great practice to use if you find yourself reliving the same tired situation over and over and you're ready to let go. So this power of this practice is that it helps you, supports you in letting go of unhealthy patterns and really becoming grounded in the present where you are right now. We can then start to refine our awareness on a more subtle level. So we can start to see the movement of prana, the intelligence that's directing the movement of the breath. Release all effort and just watch. So soften the feeling of breath, soften the muscles around the breath, and just watch. Can you come back to that place where you're feeling the gathering of prana in the center of the brain, following the movement of that which pulls breath in, the movement of that which pushes breath out. And again, start to feel this force or expansion in the midbrain. And then the next time you inhale, I would like for you to draw this force down into the bowl of the pelvis. So now you're feeling prana in the bowl of the pelvis, even as the breath continues to do its dance in the nostrils and the lungs and the diaphragm. Now as you inhale, you feel breath expand down into the bowl of the pelvis. And as you exhale, you feel breath leave from the space of the bowl of the pelvis. So begin by being aware of the balance of your breath. Directing the flow of breath down into the bowl of the pelvis and feeling the inhale and exhale balanced. Now begin with each exhale to add a count to your breath. So your inhale stays the same and your exhale starts to grow longer. And maybe you're not feeling your breath in the bowl of the pelvis. Maybe that is elusive to you to feel prana harnessed in the bowl of the pelvis, and that's okay too. You can lengthen your out breath as much as twice as long as your in breath.
Then inhale, reach your arms over your head. Backs of the hands are going to touch the floor. Exhale, you're going to roll over onto your right side and then all the way to your belly and press yourself up to all fours. So you can turn yourself around if you want to. Okay. Chakra Vikasana with a 1 to 2 breath. Inhaling, feeling breath expand in the bowl of the pelvis as you lift the upper chest through the upper arms and reach the sitting bones back. And then exhaling, rounding through the spine and lowering all the way back to child's pose. Your exhale may be up to twice as long as your inhale. Keep moving as you breathe. The inhale lifts you up, lifts upper chest through the upper arms. The exhale rounds the spine and lowers you all the way back to Balasana, child's pose. Where are you feeling the movement of energy in this flow? Where are you feeling the movement of the breath? Every time you inhale, upper chest through the upper arms. Every time you exhale, rounding the spine and lowering all the way back. Good. 2 more cycles of the breath. Now, as you come into child's pose, this time stay down in child's pose, and you can rest your arms by your shins or at the base of your spine, wherever it's feeling most comfortable. And stay present with this 1 to 2 breaths. So stay present with this longer exhale. Can you continue to feel the bowl of the pelvis fill as you breathe in and empty as you breathe out? Good. 2 more breaths. Good. And then bring the hands by your knees and lift up onto your fingertips. Pressing yourself up slowly, rolling over the toes and coming back to a squat. This time, please walk your feet the width of your mat. And if it's comfortable, you can keep the feet parallel. But if it's not comfortable, you can turn them feet angles out just slightly, about 25 degrees. So if your heels pop up, you can prop with a blanket underneath your heels. But let the work be in filling the bowl of the pelvis with your prana, and so the bowl of the pelvis gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And as that happens and you inhale, you can feel this still inner marriage, this inner connection with your inhale and the length of your spine. So even as prana is anchoring and filling the bowl of the pelvis, your spine is continuing with each inhale to get longer and the crown of the head reach towards the sky. Good. Still breathing in for a ratio of 1 and breathing out for a ratio of 2. Continuing to anchor more heavily through your feet. And then inhale, see if you can press yourself all the way up to standing. Good. Exhale, release your hands from the center of your chest. You're going to step the right foot forward, pretty wide step forward, and then turn all 10 toes to face the left. I think that's how it's going to work. Right toes forward, all 10 toes to face the left. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a deep breath in. Feel the length of the spine. Still breathing prana into the bowl of the pelvis. Then as you exhale with a long spine, fold forward. Release your hands from your hips. Bring your hands to the floor beneath you. If you need blocks to make the floor more accessible, you can grab those. Then as you inhale, lift up, lift your upper chest to your upper arms. Get more length on your spine. As you exhale, anchor into the outer edges of the feet more. Draw the navel towards the spine and fold deeply forward. You can walk your hands through the legs, making the forearms and upper arms work towards parallel. So keep your fingers facing your face as they walk back. Yeah, there you go. Deep breaths. Inhaling for a ratio of 1, exhaling longer than your inhale up to a ratio of twice as long as your inhale. The physical body moves faster than the ability for your energy to gather. So in order to really start to feel how these things work, we have to be a little bit more patient with ourselves. Energy moves fast, but in order for it to move in a harnessed and focused way, we have to give it time. We have to give it attention. Good. Next time you inhale, walk your hands forward, coming back to a flat back, straightening the elbows. Exhale fully, feel your feet. Softly bend your knees, reach your hands to your hips. As you inhale, make your way back up, right. Exhale, take a breath. Take a moment. Good. Then step both feet forward to the front of your mat, turning to face forward and coming into Tadasana. Hands by your sides, feet anchored. Inner thighs engaged. So as the inner thighs draw back, they also lift slightly towards the pelvis. And then the tailbone roots down to the floor. Notice how you feel in your feet. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms up over your head. Exhale, bend your knees, reach your tailbone at an angle back towards the floor. So a diagonal line back towards the floor as the knees bend and coming into Utkatasana. So as you exhale and feel the bowl of the pelvis anchor more and the navel pull more towards the base of the spine, maybe you can bend a little bit more deeply and maybe you can get more weighty in the pelvic bowl. Still inhaling for a count of 1, a ratio of 1, exhaling for a ratio of 2. Good. Now I want you to keep lowering down from your chair pose more deeply so you're coming all the way into a squat with the feet together, so it's okay if your heels pop up. So let the feet be together, release your hands, and let the knees go wide so that the torso starts to move between the thighs. So the knees are going to go wide, apart, and the torso is going to slide between the thighs. Good. So this is Malasana classically. So the first thing I want you to do is let it all go. Can you soften down into the pull of gravity, staying present with your breath? And then release your hands. Bring your upper arms in front of your shins, and then see if you can reach back and bend the elbows. If it happens that you take wrists or fingertips behind the ankles, that's great, but if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Good. The next step to this Malasana pose is we start to squeeze everything into the center. So arms move into legs, legs move into the center of the body, the pelvic floor slightly lifts. Maybe for some of you, your head even rests on the floor. So now we're going to pulse this Mula Bandha thing here. So Mula Bandha is the lifting and engaging of the pelvic floor, the perineum specifically. So as you exhale, I'd like for you to feel your pelvic floor lift, almost as if your pelvic floor is an elevator that's going up 7 floors. And as you exhale, you're lifting that elevator up, just muscularly lifting that elevator up to as high as you can, maybe all the way to the 7th floor. And then as you inhale, the elevator moves back down. And from the very deepest space of Mula Bandha in the body down, back to the surface of the pelvic floor, you're releasing. So do 4 complete cycles of breath in that way. Inhale, pulsing Mula Bandha, releasing Mula Bandha on the in-breath, engaging Mula Bandha on the out-breath. Continuing to make your out-breath longer than your in-breath. Good, last time. And then release the bind of the hands if you're there. And then release the hips down to the floor. Ooh. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. If you need a prop, I'm not sure that we're warm enough for a deep Paschimottanasana yet, so just a mild approach to this forward fold, anchoring down through the sitting bones. Inhale, lengthen the spine, reach the arms high towards the sky. Exhale, with this long spine, tipping the sacrum forward as you reach out towards your toes. Good. You can grab the toes if you're there, and then inhale, lift the upper chest through the upper arms. Good. And then exhale, just sort of a long spine Uttanasana, so not too much fold. Be gentle with yourself. Yeah, like that. Mm-hmm. Good, one more breath. Good, inhale, stretch the arms in front of you and then up to the sky to come all the way back to seated. And then exhale, you're going to lower yourself down to the floor, back to Shavasana. So do your best not to do too much extraneous movement in these transitions into Shavasana, because we don't want to alter the effect that we are experiencing. So observe how you feel. Observe where energy, prana, is most concentrated in your body right now. Feel the process of your breath. Now please soften all effort around your breath. And return awareness to the breath as it moves in and out of the nostrils. And then start to bring your awareness and attention to the force behind the breath, the intelligence inspiring your inhale, releasing your exhale. And feel it again in the midbrain. Feel this gathering, this concentration of prana in the midbrain. With each breath, feel it grow.